Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have a beer from Couch Brewing out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You heard that right. Their name is Couch Brewery. Yeah, it's an odd name, but it is what it is. So I admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of this brewery, but last time I was up in Pittsburgh, my buddy wanted to stop in just because happened to be driving past it, and they happened to be doing a can release that day. And I will say I am a big fan of spicy food, so I kind of bit on this one. This beer is called Atomic Meltdown, and it is a Habanero Amber Ale. And it is 6.3 ABV alcohol, which sounds about right for an amber ale. But I have an open mind for everything, so we'll see how this is. So as you can see, it does pour an amber color. It's actually, what I would consider darker than amber. It's like a ruby red to almost light brown color with a pretty small beige head. So the aroma is not too interesting. It's definitely not a hoppy amber ale. It kind of just tastes like, or smells like generic caramel malt. A little bit of like dark fruit in there too. So, the initial flavor is pretty much what it smells like. It's kind of like generic dark fruit and sweet caramel malt, which isn't necessarily my favorite thing. It seems a little under attenuated, but it could be worse. There's not necessarily any like specific brewing flaws or anything really offensive going on. On the initial taste, it does have I don't know how many people are familiar with habaneros. There's habanero flavored stuff, but I would think generally people who don't like spicy food stay away from that. Even more than if something was called jalapeno, because habaneros are, eaten on their own, and if they're actually a legitimate habanero blended into something and not just something that says habanero flavor but that has like no heat, they're pretty hot. And but the other thing that they're known for is having like a really fruity taste, for a pepper, that is. And this definitely has characteristics of that. Sometimes you get pepper beers, all you taste is the pepper, but there's no heat. Sometimes you get them, and it's just heat, and there's no pepper taste. I would say this is a pretty good balance of both, to be honest. Sorry, think about something for a second. The pepper flavor is definitely there. Like I said, it has that fruitiness. And maybe that's what I'm getting in the aroma. Maybe it's not something from the malt, but maybe it's something actually from the peppers. I'm not really sure. Excuse me. But it does have that fruitiness from the habanero itself, and which kind of comes off as like a peachy, yeah, I don't know, a peach flavor, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of, to me, it's just like a generic fruity taste. It's hard to pin down like what fruit I would necessarily say it's similar to. But then it does have some general like pepper taste, like jalapeno or green pepper, like the general pepper taste. And then it definitely has some heat to it. It's not hot enough where I would say it's like, if you eat something pretty spicy, it burns your tongue. It's not to that point where it's like burning my whole mouth, but I'm definitely feeling it back here. Definitely feeling it back here, and it's not one of those ones where, after you take a couple drinks, then you start to feel it. Like after the first sip, I felt it. I mean, it's nothing that bothers me because I love spicy foods. So the heat level is, I think it's perfect because you definitely get it. It makes its presence known. It's not bullshitting around, but at the same time, it's not too much to bear or to handle. I can definitely drink a can of this. So, it is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's just like a malty amber ale with habaneros. There's not much else to it. But they're not claiming that there's anything else to it. I will say that this is probably like one of the best beers I've had from them. It is kind of gimmicky, but everyone's doing gimmicky stuff now, so I'm not going to look down on them for that. I will say on my scale of buy, drink, dump, I'm just going to give this one a drink. Only because I like spicy food, but that's because I like eating spicy food. I'm not the biggest fan of spicy beers. I don't mind them. That's why I'm not hating this right now. But after this one can, I'm definitely not going to want another one, I just like, I want something that's refreshing or something, that's big in flavor like a stout or something complex like a saison or something like that. Like this, if I want something spicy, like I'll get it through food. So if I could buy one can of this, I might say it's a buy for me because every once in a while, if I was like, hey, I want a spicy beer, I'd go after that. But it's only in 4-packs, and I can't imagine like ever wanting 4 cans of this and drinking them quick enough where I thought they might not start going downhill. So I'm just gonna leave this one as a drink, but that's just because of my own personal preferences and stuff. Some people who love spicy beers might call it a buy. People who don't like spicy things at all, obviously it would be a dump for them. But for me, I'm gonna leave this as a drink. But admittedly, that's even better than what I was expecting from this beer. So, kudos to these guys. They kept it pretty clean and standard, and I think the heat level on it is pretty perfect. Some of these pepper beers, some of them are like, the heat's non-existent, and some of them are just insanely hot. I think they did a really good job with the balance in this guy, so... But yeah, that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.